hello. Oh my gosh, my hair. Oh well, we're not going to worry about that right now. What I wanted to do was come on here and say hello. Oh, it's a flower. It's not my hair. I mean, my hair still looks bad, but I wanted to come on here and say hello. Let's just know I am alive, even though it took a lot of blush to make me look alive. Um, I'm going to be doing a couple of things today. Let me move this plate. I'm going to be doing a couple of things today. Before I got started with those things today, though, I wanted to pop on. And number one, thank everybody for hitting David's Etsy store last week. Bless his heart, he went to the post office, I think, more than he had in a long time. He was very pleased. And please don't forget to give feedback to the store when you get your items. For anybody wanting to know, I actually, gosh, my hair, I actually did one personal dream catcher last week. And hi, Ashley. I'm here. I'm kicking. I did one personal dream catcher last week, and I have one more hoop dried out that I can do. So on David's Etsy store, there's one more ad for one personalized dream catcher. And that's all I've got, because that's all the hoops I've got dried out. And then the hoops that I have got, I say that I've got, like I do anything. The hoops that David has now got and is drying out now. Oh, my hair, y'all, my hair. They've got to be put together for Grinchmas, because the Pumpkin Festival, people bought all my dream catchers, and I don't know why. My eyes are still getting over everything. Those possums are cute. I think they're still, the possums behind me, these are the possums that are still on Etsy. These are the ones that the next day I just went ahead. I was not feeling well, so I just sat and crocheted. And they're all normal possums. However, if you want to purchase one and ask for it to be a synergist possum, you may ask me to put an appendage. Be nice though. Don't be naughty. You may ask me to put an appendage on it somewhere for you, so it can be a synergist possum. I don't mind to do that. I look bald, y'all, because my hair is all pulled up. Let me tell you what, I'm fixing to color my hair because the gray is getting so bright up here that it makes my forehead look bigger than and I don't really have a huge forehead, but it makes my forehead look bigger than it is, and I can't take it anymore. Lona's having a lazy day, too. You want to see Lona? She's still in her PJs. Well, kind of. How'd you get your leg out? How did you do that? Oh, well. Oh, I know. Stop whining. Here. Let me fix for you. Oh, you're not freezing. It's plenty warm in this house. It's plenty warm in this house. You want to show them your PJs? So I'm still in my PJs. So I think it's freezing, but it's not. It's plenty warm in this house. She's just being a drama queen. She actually, she wants second breakfast, but that's not happening, so. Luna's peach, they got hearts all over them. They're super cute. So anyway, for anybody that just came in, these are the last of the possums that I crocheted fiendishly after the Boomathon live. They are in David's Etsy store. If you want a regular one, you can get it just regular. But if you want it to be a synergist possum, you can message David in the store. She's already snoring in the chair. I don't understand that dog. But if you want it to be a synergist possum, you can message David through his Etsy store and be like, can't you put another fifth leg in the chest, or can't you put horns growing out of its head, or a mohawk down its back, whatever you can come up with. And if I can accommodate you, I will. I'm working on the Kiss Your Butt frogs so that I can put a few of those in the shop, since everybody loves those Kiss Your Butt frogs. So that you just don't have to track me down and email me and me actually catch it when I'm feeling well, or yell at Dave on Etsy. So, but what I want to do now is I want to talk to y'all about some of my jewelry that I make. I've got a little bit of everything in here. And I'm thinking of putting some jewelry in his store for him, or giving it to him to put on. Like I have rib pendants. I have got two pair in here, so I have to be careful. I have vertebrae dangle earrings, and then I have, these are hooked together, I have to be careful. I have the big honkin' vertebrae dangle earrings, which I've worn those before, and I get lots of compliments on them. And it's funny, when we go to festivals, I will see people wearing jewelry they bought, from David 2-3 years ago, and then they come back and they're wanting more, and I'm like, yeah. It's still not crazy. Hey, that's a good name. And then I have, although these may be spoken for, I don't know. I have like huge deer tine dangle earrings. And then I have these in UV protectors, but they're like the bone beads with sea glass and dangles. I keep them in UV protectors because, when they have to sit out, I don't like for them to, I don't want it to get damaged. Is Margaret in there? Hey, Margaret. I actually got to put a face with Margaret's name on Booma's channel the other night. It was very nice. I was in there a few minutes before I dozed off. Why can I never get these open? It doesn't mean that I'm post-flare. It just means I can't get these things open. Y'all, I had such a bad flare, and then my heart started doing funny things, and I had to take a different medicine for my heart for like 6 days. And let me tell you what, I did good just to be in the coherent realm those few days. That was the worst medicine ever. I have the buffalo tooth with the buffalo charm necklaces. And everything's on stainless steel or reclaimed silver or silver over stainless. Because y'all know I kill jewelry, so I make it out of stuff that I like to wear. Now, my buffalo tooth necklaces are the most expensive things I have because I had to get those through Curtis. I miss Curtis. I can't replace Curtis. I'm still mourning the loss of Curtis. But I'm thinking about putting some of this stuff in David's store. I just don't really rightfully know what to put. And so I'm trying to pick y'all's brains. Thank you, Ashley. There's the link to David's store. I'm not sure what all's in there. No, the possums are in there. And they're normal possums. But if you want them to be a synergist possum, you can message David and say, can she put an extra leg here? Can she put an extra ear here? Can she put another tail? Just don't make it dirty. Okay? Don't make it dirty. Hi, everybody. I do have the vertebrae necklaces. This is coyote vertebrae. It's the very tiny, tiny, tippy top of the neck. And see, these are just like $15. I don't, the shipping on Etsy is what ticks me off, because when somebody buys something off of David on Etsy, the shipping is just horrendous. Shipping is the bane of my existence. I'm having a much better day today. I still am not 100%, but today, I'm feeling good enough to know that I need to clean my house, so therefore I'm doing much better. So yeah, the last week was rough. Like, I thought I was going to end up in the hospital because my flipping heart would not comply. And it's just where my thyroid is actually trying to come back to life. So my T3 marker is actually moving, and my endocrinologist is like, how is this happening? It's been deadlined, it's been not even above 0 on the test for like 18 months now. And we were like 6 weeks away from her going, let's just go ahead and take it out. And the last 3 tests, my T3 marker's moving. She's like, I don't know how this is possible, but it's happening. And So it's messing up my thyroid medicine because it's working, and then my thyroid medicine is trying to do something else. So they're having to augment my thyroid medicine to allow my thyroid to do its own thing now. And we've not got the balance right. So it's making my heart do funny things. And then when I go into a flare, I just roll down the hill. There I go. I'm down the hill. My hair is constantly in a bun. This is little resin dried flowers with raccoon teeth and I put some lapis in there. Lapis lazuli. And these are those ones that you can tighten up. I like these. I wear a lot of these. I have a lot of these bracelets that have like bones, raccoon teeth, bobcat teeth. I have a lot like that. So I'm just trying to kind of get an idea if any of this stuff like perks y'all's interest, because David's like, well, he's like, I have to pay for each ad I put on. And he said, I don't care to put it on if it's something somebody will actually want to buy. Y'all know this is something I actually had at consignment, and they tried to jack the price up literally like 6 times what I asked for it. And I went and took it back from consignment because I told them that was wrong. And I marked out what they put on it. It made me mad. This is a mink jaw necklace, and it's on like a 24 or 26 inch chain. It's a mink jaw. I'll show you there. It's a mink jaw. All the teeth it's been boiled, cleaned, and then everything put back in there. And I had, in the consignment shop, I had $40 on this, and they were literally trying to sell it for like 200 and something. And I was like, no, give it back. And so I took my consignment back from them, and I never took anything else because I was like, that's highway robbery. They did not like me, but I don't care. So I have stuff like this that I would like to put in David's store if it's something that y'all would be interested in, because like David said, he has to pay for everything that goes on there. So I also have a lot of new cleaned bones that I'm going to be, don't let me freakings out. This is a coyote leg bone. I'm going to be doing some drilling and doing some bone work. And I have a lot of coyote ribs, and I'm going to be doing some rib necklaces. And I may do some rib necklaces with some drilled holes with some chain dangles in through the rib. But I got to be able to, that's a very small drill, and I have to be able to handle my drill with that tiny drill bit very carefully. So, but David brought me a whole bag of bones. You want to make me a happy person, just bring me a bag of bones. I'm a happy person if you just bring me a bag of bones. That's all I need to be happy. Just a bag of bones. I was going through here and I was trying to put his spine back together because I actually made a coyote spine lamp. Actually, Sabrina has that. And I love it. But I've always wanted to make another, but it's never happened again. So I've just not had the right time and the urge to do it. I may put that mink jaw necklace back on Etsy. I may put, just maybe. We'll see what happens. And then I am going to, when I get ready to drill, I don't want them, well, that's why I was fighting, because I told her I did not want to lose my thyroid, because there wasn't anything wrong with it. It just stopped working. Now, if you know me, growing up, I was a farmhand, and I have like 3 times the testosterone that women are supposed to have. And I have absolutely no estrogen in my body now since I had a hysterectomy, because, them organs, they hated me and they went south real quick. As soon as I had kids, they were like, see ya, and they had to be voluntarily vacated. But I was like, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't want to lose it. So we have done a lot of wait and see with a medicine. One of the, it's kind of newer, but it's one of the safer new ones. And we were just trying to make it come back to life. And it was not, it did not even register on the test for like 18 months now. So now that it's starting to work again, and I've been doing a lymphatic tincture. This really great lady that shows up at a couple of festivals, and all she does is make tinctures. She's got a wonderful lymphatic tincture. I have tried to replicate it, and mine tastes nasty. So I went and got another bottle from her, and I really think that's what's been helping me the most. But because about the time I got that off of her and started taking it to help with the drainage, that's when I started seeing my T3 marker move again. So I think that's probably what has done that. Oh yeah, well, I think that's why I worked well with the stud horses, because I was just as hateful as they were. But yeah, I have way too much testosterone for a female. But it's where I grew up as a farmhand, and I was, I had more muscle on me than most girls. Well, way more muscle than most girls should have. And so I was just raised in a different environment, and my body acclimated to it, and it didn't do me any favors. I know now. Back then it did, because I was able to work and do whatever I needed to do, but it certainly now did not do me any favors. But my body's trying. It's trying. I've got to get my pliers and fix my little shepherd hook on my other one. But look at these beautiful rib earrings. Oh, they're so pretty. But I've got them in one of those little bead cap things. Oh, they're so pretty. I've got to fix the dangle on the other one, because I did not like the way it was dangling. So I'm going to get a different jump ring and put on it. And I'm going to turn this into a pendant. And I'm going to turn this into a pendant. And I'm going to top them with the last of Curtis's antler beads. Y'all, I'm on the last of Curtis's stuff, and it's just like I don't want to use it, because it's all I have. But I've been trying to find another person that can do bone work, and not having any luck. Just not having any luck. Well, I did the farms that I worked at, mostly the livestock places I worked at, they were better than most, because when they would have to go in and they would do the stop estrus shots for certain animals, so we wouldn't have to worry about them, especially if they were show animals, show livestock. And that was back in the day where they hadn't really figured all that out yet. And so for 7 days after they did the stop estrus shots, I was not allowed in the barn, because it would have stopped, which I would have been fine with it, but it would have stopped my cycle too. And they didn't want to take a chance on that. But I was around a lot of stuff that probably wasn't the best to be around, but how you make your living when you're born in the sticks, and it's what I was good at growing up. My dad was a blacksmith, and I grew up on farms and hanging on to his chaps and barns, and I just naturally learned how to do these things, and I was really good at it. And so people would hire me. I never would tell them whose kid I was, because I never wanted him to hire me because I was his daughter. So I never would tell him. And then they'd find out, and they'd be like, "Why didn't you tell us?" And I'd be like, "Because I didn't want you to hire me, because I was his kid." I worked for a little Puerto Rican man who I love. You've heard me talk about him. I loved him. He was just like a second dad to me. His name was Julio. He's passed away now. And that's where I learned all the bad Spanish words. But I didn't tell him who I was. I just needed to go back to work, because when Haley, my daughter, was 10 days old, my ex-husband lowered a wagons. What is it? Lowering a worm's belly and wagons. Right there you go. He shattered his right elbow. I went back to work when Haley was 10 days old, and I was cleaning 20, 30 horse stalls a day and riding about 10 head of horses a day, and I just had to. We had to eat, had to work, and I couldn't get a doctor release for a factory anywhere else, which I just went back to work. And he was like, "We wouldn't even look at the mother for 30 days in Puerto Rico." And I was like, "Well, sorry, You're going to have to look at me because I got to make I got to make a living. I didn't tell him who it was. But every Wednesday, he would go get 1 to 2 tons of feed, and he would just pull into the main barn and disappear. And it wasn't on pallets. No, he didn't have a front end loader. He didn't have a forklift. No. You just had to unpack it and stack it. I talked to him several times about getting some different stuff for his tractor so we could unload it, but no. He said just unload it. So he would every Wednesday do the feed run and pull it into the main drag of the barn and just disappear. And normally it was just me or one other there, and I would rather have the one other person stripping stalls or doing something useful. So I would unload 1 to 2 ton of feed every Wednesday. And y'all wonder, no pallet jacks, nothing. This man, no pallet jacks, no nothing. And you don't know how I begged. You don't know how I begged. And he would at least get very close to the little, it was a feed room, but it had one of those sliding locked doors. So you could go open, and I got really good. And if I had somebody to help me, I could put 2 bags on one shoulder, 2 bags on the other shoulder, and then go pitch them and go get 2 more and pitch them, and they would stack themselves as I pitched them. I got really good at that. And so I did that every week for a number of years because I worked there off and on for a long time, but I had to go back to work when Haley was just 10 days old because my ex-husband shattered his right elbow. He hit the power brake on a 4-wheeler because he's a moron, and he flipped the darn thing. And because God looks after idiots, all he did was shatter his elbow. That's almost, I'm going to be nice now. I'm going to shut up. But that's probably where I did a lot of damage to my female organs. That's probably why they never really got back to, they didn't really jive any after that. I that was not good for me to do that. But he was like a second father. But I didn't tell him whose kid I was and I didn't tell him that I'd worked for the other farm that was like an hour and a half up the road that had won the Nationals the previous year. I didn't want him to know that. So here we go, and he's like, I basically just watched the barn, took care of the barn, the studs, the mares. He came in one day and he goes, "You want to help me at the show?" And I was like, "Yeah, if you need me to go, I'll go." And he's like, "Yeah, let's go." Lena, what are you doing? Somehow she got out of her PJs. So I'm not lying. She took them off. She does these things. Okay, you can go lay down now. Oh, I'm not mad at you. Just would you fold them and put them up? But so I went with him to the show, and it was a big show at the MTSU pavilion down there. And he was starting to go in, and I said, hang on. I said, I haven't hit that bay horse's points yet. He said, what? And I said, just a minute. And I went and got baby oil in a rag. And you did its nose, right above its eyes, tips, and then you hit right above its butt on its tail and right around its cornet bands on its feet. If they had all black feet, you could get away with painting their feet. If they had a natural hoof in Pasofina world, you could not. In gaited horses, you can, but in Paso and stock horses, you can't. And so I spit shine that horse up. And he goes, "You've done this before." And I said, "Yeah, little." I still didn't tell him half of it. And then I'm sitting there with a rag hanging out of my pocket with my little toolbox of, help if they run out of the ring and, need a bridle fixed or need something done. And I'm sitting there and he's showing it and we're having a moment. Somebody's horse had a problem, and so they paused the class and everybody went to their groom, and he came to me and I was wiping the horse's face down because they were Pasofinos. They were so I was wiping his little sweaty mouth down a bit. He was a bad bit chewer. And here comes the other owners of that other farm that don't knock it over, that won the Nationals the previous year, and they go, "Well, hey, Elizabeth, we didn't know you was working for Julio." And I said, "Hey, Marty. Hey, Dan." And Julio goes, "Okay, what?" And I was like, "You didn't ask." "You asked if I knew how to clean a stall." And I said, "Yes, sir, I do." So then he found out, he started asking questions, and he talked to their trainer, and their trainer was like, "Well, yeah, don't you know who she is?" And then he found out who it was. He wanted to meet my dad. So for like 2 months, he begged, he wanted to meet my dad. So I finally got my dad to come down there and meet him. And I was working, and I was just going to let them talk and have a day. And as soon as my dad got out of the truck, he walked up to the barn, and it was just a very small operation compared to the operations Dad had worked at. Now, the other one was a pretty big one, but this was just a small, good, hearty, but small operation. And he walked up to my dad. They met. Get out of my crafts. No, ma'am. That way. Thank you. And he shook my dad's hand, and he didn't really know what to say. And I was just kind of standing there watching the flummox of it all. And he said, "Your daughter, strong like mule." And I was like, "Well, crap." And I just went on about my business because I was like, that's not even nice. But he didn't know what else to say, And they talked for, I don't know, Dad stayed like half a day, looked at some of the horses, and Julio was starstruck, and I thought it was hilarious. But my dad was a really big-time farrier in racehorses were brought down from up north for him to fix their feet because he could take a racehorse that had broken most of its foot off that would have been put down back in the day, and he could build it a foot around its frog and all. If there was no damage to the coffin bone, navicular bone, and all that stuff, he could build it a kitty hair epoxy foot and make it look like a real foot, and it could grow back on its own. And so he saved a lot of thoroughbreds off the track. And he did a lot of corrective shoeing, but he was a big time farrier for a long time. And even when we went last month to the Heritage Festival in the neighboring county, the two blacksmiths that were doing exhibitions there, they were like, "Hey Liz, how's your dad?" And I'm like, "He's fine, mean as ever." So their little zippy steps, oh bless her. He didn't know if I could ride, so and I hadn't told him. He said, "Would you stop, Lou?" He said, "You care to work that one for me?" I said, "No, that's fine." And he said, "Do you need some help?" I said, "No, that's fine." I got on, and I grew up riding gated. I prefer stock, but my dad, he predominantly worked in gated barns, and so here I went and zipping through the ring, and he goes, "How long you rode?" I said, "Since I was 3." He was like, "You have not told me everything," and I'm like, "You didn't ask," So, but I enjoyed working for him. I do know what I'm going to do with this crochet zipper, y'all. This hit me. I'm going to make a deer butt pocketbook. By golly. It's going to have 2 cheeks, going to have the tail, still going to have the X where the butt should be, but it's going to be a pocketbook. And I don't know if I want to put a leather strap on it or crochet. I don't know, but it's going to be a deer butt pocketbook. It came to me. That's what I'm going to do. I saw it in my head. I have to make it now. And I got this punch. David felt sorry for me, so he bought me a little punch tool so he wouldn't have to do it either. So I could get through that bobcat hide and get it done because I'm on the other side sewing and I'm tired of cussing it. So he got that. He was like, "Here, now you can finish that." So the bobcat clutch, that's hard to say. The bobcat clutch is almost done, and I presume that he will put it straight up in his Etsy shop as soon as he gets done with it. Would you go sit down? You're irritating me because I don't know what you're going to get into, and the guesswork is, I don't enjoy it. You're not getting a second breakfast. You're too fat. Nope, cow eyes don't do nothing to me. Well, she just bat those big old cow eyes. So there is a possibility that I'm going to be on with Sabrina next Tuesday. A possibility. We've talked about it. We're going to see how things roll. And I say next Tuesday like it's for, in a couple of days. We're going to see if it's something that is still a good idea when the day rolls around, see if nothing's changed. And I enjoyed that. I thought it was fun. I met a lot of really nice new people. And I'd like to do it again. I don't think I need to do it all the time. But I think the people that saw us together, I think they want to have one more round because they didn't get everything, all their questions answered and stuff. So they have more that they want to know. So I was like, that's fine. If you just want to do it, that's fine. I'll do it. That's not a problem. And now that my health is perking back up, I've got to get back on my track. So we're going to be doing, finishing that book and be nice about my eyes, y'all, because they're really bad. But we're going to be finishing that book, and then we're going to be doing some crafting. David is going to Grinchmas. Really? You just fainted in the middle of the floor like a fainting goat. What was that all about? Well, really? You went into seizure mode? No, you're not shaking. You're fine. Not a clue what that was about. But David is going to Grinchmas, so I definitely want to make a few things to send with him. I don't know if I'm going to go or not. Just depends on how this weather hits me. So far it's been kind of rough. I enjoyed it. It was fun, and I enjoy Booma. He reminds me of my tattoo artist that passed away several years ago. So I feel like I know him. He's really easy to get to know. He's really easy to talk to. I just felt right at ease immediately. So it was fun. And I think a lot of yins, we still need to stop it. We still need to maybe do answer more questions, because we had like the storyline that everybody wanted to hear and certain things that they wanted to talk about as a group, but I think there's still stuff that you all as a group wanted to ask that we didn't get to talk about. So there's possibility. We'll see if it still works out. It's completely up to Booma and Sabrina. She broached the topic, so we'll see if we follow through. Otherwise, we're going to get back to rolling here. I know David's been doing some videos and trying to fill in the gaps, and trapping season starting again, so he's doing his thing. Q&A. He's doing his thing, so he's going to have a lot more content on, and I appreciate him trying to do that. But I'm going to try to dig out of this health debacle and get back to things. But my next big thing is this crochet zipper. I'm going to make a deer butt pocketbook. Yay. I mean, I'm really excited about that. I know I'm not right in the head. It is what it is. Feel free to laugh at me. I chuckle at myself quite a bit. But that's what I'm doing today. As you can see, I'm up and going. I've had 2 days where I've not had any heart bobbles, and I've not had to take any of that medicine, so I think we're through it this episode. And the flare, I believe, is gone. I've got a little bit of residual slowness in my joints and stuff, but I'll deal with it because it's rainy and nasty, so it'll be okay. And I'm just going to try to get going again. I knew that I was not in a good place because I was constantly going in and out of flare. I did not know that my thyroid and my heart were in on it too. And that's kind of what has been making me so sick. So I feel better now. You're in the middle of a city there. I'm going to make a deer pocketbook. It's going to look like a taxidermy deer butt. I see it in my head. I'm just going to make it come out right. But I've got to do it. Since I saw it in my head, I've got to do it. I'm one of those people. So I'm going to take it easier today. I'm going to try to pick up the house a little bit and then do something I enjoy for a little bit, take care of Luna for a little bit, and but back at it going. Maybe now, since I'm on the up and up, my eyes will actually clear and stay clear. So, okay. And it came on one of those channels that does the live channel. What the crap? No. In it though, you can't find that anywhere to watch unless you want to pay an arm and a leg. So, but if you ever have a chance to watch, what is Sandra D? Yes. In Tammy Tell Me True, you got to watch it. I swear I identify with that movie in so many levels. Okay, I'm going to take Luna out, and I am back to doing stuff. I'm up and going, so don't worry about me. I think I'm through the worst of it and back trying to look like a normal living person again. So, but even though I'm having problems, the blood work's looking good. It's just the thyroid is trying to come back to life, making a mess with the medicines and my heart. And then I had a flare on top of everything. So it was, it was just a big mess. But we'll get through it. Okay, I'm going to take her out. I'm going to get busy with my day. If I have anything worthy of sharing later, I will. If not, I will try to let you know if we're going to do next Tuesday for sure. In the next, excuse me, young lady, get out of stuff. I will try to make sure that you know if Tuesday's going to happen or not. Whether I'm there or not, y'all need to watch it because Sabrina's always going to bring you information that you need to know. I'm sorry, YouTube hates me. Okay, y'all have a great day. Hope to see you Tuesday night, but we may do some crafting before then. And I appreciate the prayers and everybody hitting the Etsy store. Y'all don't. Oh, that was such a blessing. Y'all have no idea. It helps us take care of this little epileptic dog. So we appreciate you. And if you want a synergist possum, just message Dave and say, hey, there's a possum in your Etsy store. Can't you add an extra leg? Can't you give it a unicorn horn? Can't you give it 4 ears? If I can do it, I will. So there's still a few in there, but everything else is probably going to be going to the Grinch Festival. So if you want them, last ones, you better nab it. Margaret, honey, I am there with you. I'll let you go. Y'all have a great day. Take care of yourself, and I'll catch up with you later. Bye, guys.